Hey guys, I hope you're having a good weekend, and I come every weekend and share a teaching with you for a few minutes, usually around 10 minutes, on my Facebook page and on my YouTube channel. And I usually talk about whatever's on my mind. What I've been thinking of lately is a book that I just finished and that will be published by mid-October, the middle of next month. It's a book called Quantum Prayer. And I decided I was going to share something with you from the book. I'm just going to actually read you something from this book that I wrote that deals with how to handle fear in our lives. And I draw from a personal experience that I had that I was excited to experience. And I don't know, I just thought I'd share it with you. This section of the chapter is called Taking the Leap. The most formidable way to fight fear with faith is to face it. Faith isn't a feeling you have, but a choice you make. Let me use a personal example to illustrate how this works. As I neared my 67th birthday a few years ago, I found myself thinking about how to have an experience that would take me beyond the boundaries of my own comfort zone. I envisioned a challenge that would not only test me, but also bring a different kind of a sense of accomplishment. The notion of skydiving was something I had occasionally thought about for a long time. When I discussed the idea with my wife, she immediately came on board with her support. I, on the other hand, was still undecided. Weeks passed, and the decision weighed on me, part exhilarating, part terrifying. I was caught in a limbo of indecision until one day my wife did something that people who've been married as long as we have been sometimes do. She decided for me. Weeks before my birthday, she handed me a card containing a gift certificate for a tandem jump at Skydive City. Now it was settled. I was destined to ascend 13,500 feet above Earth, tethered to an instructor, and take the ultimate leap of faith. The gift certificate's revelation left me with a severe sense of obligation. Now I have to do it, I thought. How can I renege now, especially when my children and grandchildren even know about the plan? This was no longer hypothetical. It was a commitment. And yet, fear wouldn't leave me alone. Through countless flights, I'd heard pilots calmly announce that we were reaching a cruising altitude of 10,000 feet. Looking out of the airplane window at those times, the world below seemed tiny, almost ant-like. Now I was contemplating a jump from an altitude exceeding that by 3,500 feet. The thought both thrilled and unnerved me. Every day, the anticipation consumed me. Will I follow through or chicken out? That became my nightly rumination. It was a paradox, something I both desired and dreaded. Well, on the day of the jump, a mental shift occurred. It had to be that way. If I were to follow through, I knew a change in my mindset had to happen. So I consciously chose to harness my fear and transform it into exhilarating enthusiasm. I'm ready for this, I told myself, and I assured my family. You aren't scared, they asked me. Nope, I'm psyched, I honestly answered. And my confessions were working. I found myself becoming more and more excited thinking about the jump. I wouldn't let myself think of it any other way. When we arrived at the airfield, my instructor briefed me on the protocol. We boarded the plane. He attached my harness to his, and we took off. With each incremental rise in altitude, my excitement soared along with it. Finally, at 13,000 feet, it was time to jump. We maneuvered to the airplane's opening door, my legs hanging in the great abyss. Are you ready? My instructor inquired. Let's rock, I responded with the surge of adrenaline. We pushed ourselves from the plane, and for an electrifying 60 seconds, we free fell at 120 miles per hour. At the designated moment, I responded to my readiness to deploy the parachute with a thumbs up in response to my instructor's prearranged thumbs up. Upon its opening, we slowly spiraled down in wide circles for another 5 minutes before touching down. The experience was invigorating and liberating. It was my own quantum leap from fear to free falling through the clouds with great enthusiasm. It was an unforgettable lesson, not only about skydiving and fear, but about every other situation in life that threatens to replace peace with anxiety. Fear is faith pointed in the wrong direction. It's the expectation of a negative outcome. It's a mindset that can be taken under control and corrected by declining to be carried along by negative thinking and debilitating feelings. Bring every thought into the captivity of Christ, the Bible admonishes. Quantum leaps in life happen when we take responsibility for ourselves and refuse to allow external influences to determine our outlook and our outcome. Life often presents us with situations that are scary and threatening, whether it's a health issue, a relationship struggle, financial troubles, or any other number of challenges. Our natural tendency is to respond with fear and trepidation, which can leave us paralyzed and unable to move forward. But we have a choice. We can consciously shift our mindset from dread to determination, just as I did with my skydiving dread and fear. Well, that was quite an experience. That was a few years ago now, but it was quite the experience. I'm glad I did it. People have asked me, would you do it again? I said, oh, absolutely, I would do it again. Actually, when I jumped out of the airplane, it was a weird sensation. It didn't feel like I was falling because you don't really have a perspective to judge anything by. It felt like I was hanging in the air and the wind was rushing past me at 120 miles an hour. But anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. That's an excerpt from my book, Quantum Prayer. And I think it's, for me at least, a personal application on how to deal with fear in our lives. The way we deal with it is not by suppressing it, but it's by facing it and by changing the way you look at it, changing the way you think about it, and just being present to the moment and take the leap in faith. That's what it's all about. Well, I hope this has been an encouragement to somebody who's facing some scary things in life right now. I just wanted to take a few minutes and share that story with you and make that application. I hope you have a good weekend. If you're watching this on the weekend, that's when I post it. I'll be back next weekend to share with you again. So I'll see you later, guys.